one thing that I've continually noticed in these woo worshippers, not the wizards of woo, but the woo worshippers who kneel at their feet and praise every single word they say, and, you know, throw thousands of pounds at the wizards continually, is absolutely astounding. And we have one such individual today who we're going to talk about, because Freedom Dove has returned. And unfortunately, like a dove, he's come in and basically shit all over the place. And not going to go through all his comments, just one part in particular, because this one part shows you not the mindset of him, but basically others like him who have been so conned by the wizards that they just can't ignore it. I mean, there was earlier a guy in the previous conversation where he said, even though he was asking for me to show him evidence that chemotherapy worked, he would still not believe me because it was his belief, yes, belief, that chemotherapy didn't work. Well, my response to him and other people is, well, I'm sorry, but medicine is not belief-based. It either works and it's medicine, or it doesn't. That's what you've got. So we're going to go into the Dove's comments. And he says, he starts off, you don't pay any attention to those that have proven that alternative treatments work. Dr. Gerson, Dr. Kelly, Dr. Gonzalez, Dr. Richardson. All of them and more were successfully treating cancer patients. Except they weren't. All these guys, look into every single one. When medical professionals went to look at their work, it just didn't add up. Yes, they kept medical records, but in the case of, say, Mr. Gerson and the Gerson therapy, still do not keep any evidence of tumour sizes or regression. They do not keep any records of this, and yet they want to claim that they can cure cancer. Well, how can you cure cancer if you don't have any evidence that what you're trying to cure is getting smaller and, regressing? And this is the same for every single one of these guys. All their things, all their stuff has been thoroughly debunked over and over again. All their evidence is subpar. It's either testimonial evidence, which is nothing when it comes to science. Testimonial evidence is nothing. You could have 100 people which basically says, this pig can fly. And if that's all you have, not until you have at least video evidence, or actually putting maybe the pig in, test flight conditions to actually say, yes, he can fly, then all that witness testimonial is nothing. It's garbage. So, again, he continues, many of those patients had literally been sent home to die after conventional oncology failed them. Yes, unfortunately, science has its limits. And again, these people seem to think that somehow, science that has, evolved and constantly evolving over the years, doesn't have failures. Of course science failures, but what happens? We learn from those failures. These guys never do. They don't learn a single thing. And yes, they have medical records of their patients which shows the evidence you claim doesn't exist. And as I've said, this evidence is subpar. It doesn't prove anything, it doesn't show nothing, it shows that maybe they had cancer, but it shows nothing that the treatments that these wizards were administering them were working. Many of them already had had conventional treatment. So, It's insane. And again, I've just done a video on another person prior to this who, again, like this, had cancer, had been told that he was quite terminal, turned to an alternative treatment, and then all of a sudden, oh my god, it's working. It must be the alternative treatment, and not the treatments that she'd been having and receiving that have been proven to work. The quacks are those in the medical industry who continue to push dangerous chemo and radiation. Well, while yes, chemotherapy is dangerous, but if administered, you know, like it is in the medical treatment, then it is not dangerous to any extent. Yes, it does have side effects, no one's going to deny that, but it works. While discrediting safe and effective alternative medicine. Again, Dove, it is called alternative medicine because it has not proven that it can live up to its claims. Hence, it is alternative medicine. When it can prove those claims, then it will become medicine. Until then, it's woo-woo. And it's wrong to try and con people, which many of these guys are and have done, into, you know, getting people to give them hundreds, if not thousands of pounds in, you know, books, DVDs, dietary supplements, whatever, you name it. Even, you know, 15 minutes over Skype with some of these guys can cost about, you know, £200 to £300. It's insane. And yet, people like Dove don't see it. They instead like to blame, oh, it's the establishment's fault. Then, if that's the case, why are survival rates continually going up year on year? And yet, there is no response to him. His last word on that, well, one of his things he wanted me to get was, oh, where's all this mountain of evidence? So, I've posted him evidence time and time again. He's just ignored it. I'm not surprised. Again, biggest proof that chemotherapy works. 98% of all children with acute lymphoma leukemia all go into remission within weeks of starting treatment. So if chemotherapy doesn't work, why does it have this 98% success rating?